Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
Marshall's buyers are detail-obsessed perfectionists who take quality very seriously and go to the ends of the earth to hustle the best of the best for you. Yes. We get the deals. You get the good stuff. Marshall's.
Tomorrow, E.T. from the Palm Beaches gets a housewife house call from Larsa Pippen.
And remember, if you're looking to plan a vacation here, you can visit thepalmbeaches.com for more info.
Before we go, though, yes, that is Katy Perry, but that is not Orlando Bloom. No trouble in paradise, though. The reason for Katy's steamy makeout? She's on the Barcelona set of her new music video with one lucky Spanish stuntman. I mean, I should say hello or hola.
Hola.
And by the way, look who had a costume change.
It's hot. It's hot. I had to get ready.
It's hot.
Tyler, thanks for being here today.
Happening now.
A gully washer this morning, especially in the hill country. We'll talk about rainfall totals, how much fell and where, which rivers are seeing a bit of a spike in their flow, and more rain to come.
An electric worker trying to fix a whole community's problems ends up losing his own life. He was electrocuted. I'll tell you what investigators believe went wrong.
988, just 3 digits to reach the suicide lifeline. It's been like that for 2 years, so we are now checking in to see how much success it's had and what still needs to be done. The news at 5 starts now.
And first at 5, downpours passed through San Antonio and the hill country today.
Yeah, overall, for July, it is a wonderful thing to see. But all that heavy rain so fast did cause some flooding issues. Adam Caskey joins us now with the current situation outside. Adam.
And after the very welcomed, much-needed rainfall, it's good to also have a breather outside right now because that rain came hard and fast over a short period of time. But you look at authority radar at the moment and really nothing over San Antonio other than a stray sprinkle or two. And even the activity that was off to the west is fizzling out as it heads toward the Alamo City. Now that said, I still think there could be some development, especially along and south of I-35, because we're getting some destabilization and we've had more sunshine, particularly on the south side of San Antonio. So that could help kickstart some new showers and thunderstorms just in the coming hours. Lavaca County, Hallettsville cashing in again. This is maintenance rain. This is where we do not have drought or even abnormally dry conditions east of San Antonio. And then you head off to the west, and the little bit of activity that we've had out there over the past few hours really has fizzled out as well. A light shower moving into Del Rio. That's pretty insignificant. What is significant is the rainfall totals. Let's take a look at some of these really quickly. Just over the past 24 hours, look at this. I'm going to go right into Bandera County, right into Pipe Creek, 46 and 16, where they come together. Boom, 7.5 inches of rain estimated over the past 24 hours. We'll talk about how much rain fell elsewhere and compared to the drought monitor in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. And as the skies opened up, some people had to deal with losing power. About 12:30, more than 6,000 CPS customers in the dark. That agency dispatching crews since this morning to restore electricity. As of right now, it looks like they only have about 30 active outages. Much different picture than just a few hours ago. And what shouldn't get lost in the effort to restore power is that CPS Energy has confirmed one man who was electrocuted early this morning was an employee of CPS Energy. According to the sheriff's office, the 32-year-old man working to repair power lines in West Bexar County at the time of the electrocution.
And Katrina Weber tells us how investigators say this happened and what they believe went wrong.
Trouble that happened in the dark in this far West Bexar County neighborhood would have sheriff's detectives investigating until well after daylight. At the end of a street called Percheron Pass, not far from Culebra Road, they roped off a greenbelt where a CPS Energy worker died. Sheriff's investigators say at some point after 4:30 a.m., that man and other crew members were working to undo a power outage from overnight storms. They say the co-workers told them they thought the electricity had been cut off, but they noticed a bright spark signaling a power surge. The man, identified as 32-year-old Clayton Clazel, was at the top of a utility pole and was electrocuted. A sheriff's investigator told me that the crew members working with that man acted quickly, trying to save his life. He says they got him down off the pole and performed CPR, but it was too late. Afterward, you could see the anguish on the co-workers' faces, some in tears as Clazel's death dawned on them. Later, another CPS Energy crew showed up to get a look at the scene themselves. The company also released a statement confirming the death and saying its prayers were with Clazel's family. Sheriff's investigators say based on what they've found, they believe what happened here was an accident. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
A woman visiting San Antonio was shot and killed as she was sitting on a bar patio last night.
Yeah, police say the woman was at the Smoke Sky Bar on East Crockett near East Houston and I-37 after midnight.
But the shooting wasn't at that bar. Investigators believe the shot came from a parking lot or the highway. SAPD has not released the woman's name, but a Facebook post from Jasper ISD identifies the victim as Aiden Burt. The district says she was a teacher and a cheer coach. Burt was visiting San Antonio for a coaching conference.
Today, the family of Caleb Harris holding a special service to remember the loving son, brother, grandson, nephew, and friend. The 21-year-old New Braunfels native disappeared in March in Corpus Christi. The search for him led to his remains being discovered last month. A celebration of life held for Caleb this morning at Oakwood Church in New Braunfels. He was attending Texas A&M University in Corpus Christi when he disappeared. His remains found in a wastewater lift station, and through DNA testing, those remains were identified as Caleb. As of right now, the cause of death is unknown.
A former Army civilian employee is heading to federal prison for 15 years for stealing more than $100 million from the U.S. Army. Janet Mello worked as a financial program manager for Child and Youth Services at Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston. Federal prosecutors say that she created a fake business to get money from a military grant program. For 6 years, Mello received grant checks totaling more than $108.9 million. Instead of going to children, the U.S. Attorney's Office says it went to stuff like this. They say Mello used the money to pay for houses, cars, jewelry, and purses.
She denied these children of active military families the benefits they should have received.
Jaime Esparza says so far they've been able to recover $18 million from Mello's bank accounts and $11 million worth of purses and jewelry. Investigators have also seized multiple properties, cars, and a boat. They're also in the process of taking Mello's retirement to apply it to restitution.
Also new at 5, Comal County Sheriff's deputies arrest a man for allegedly stabbing his own father to death. 24-year-old William Tarnowski Jr. charged with first-degree murder. Deputies say around 9:30 last night they arrived at a home in the 100 block of Dry Bear Creek in New Braunfels. Found a man with life-threatening stab wounds. First responders performed life-saving measures, but the victim, identified as William Tarnowski Sr., died at the scene. The son at the scene, deputies say he was arrested without incident. Deputies have not released much information regarding to what led up to the stabbing. They're still investigating.
This week marks 2 years since the National Suicide Lifeline was dropped to 3 digits, 988. And since then, call centers across the country have been contacted 10 million times. Courtney Friedman tells us about the Lifeline's biggest wins and the things that still need a lot of work.
No shame. I'm not shy about it. I called 988 when I had a crisis moment, and I was grateful that there was that resource available for me in that moment.
Frances Arias aims to break stigma as a board member for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention South Texas chapter. She knows in crisis, seconds are precious.
When you're experiencing a medical crisis, you will dial 911, but if you're experiencing a mental health crisis, then dialing 988 should just come quickly and easily to mind to make that call.
She's proud of the huge strides made since the Suicide Lifeline became a 3-digit number just 2 years ago. You can call, text, chat, or video to get a crisis counselor.
from whatever culture or language that they're speaking, that they have access to that resource.
In the last year, there were 90,000 calls in Spanish and 20,000 chats and texts in Spanish. And in 2 years, there have been 20,000 American Sign Language users using the ASL video phone option. In the last year, there have been 500,000 LGBTQIA plus youth contacting 988. And the Veterans Crisis Line, which is available through a Press 1 option, has answered more than 1.6 million calls.
Those lives saved, something to celebrate, but with higher call volume comes the need for a lot more funding.
We're asking for Congress to approve a funding package that will put funding in the hands and responsibility of SAMHSA, who handles the 988 crisis line.
Meaning more centers.
And it's not just that we don't have enough crisis call centers. We don't have enough workforce available.
People like Arias constantly asking Congress to support the line, save more lives, and create more hope.
If you find yourself in a moment that you're in crisis, please call 988.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
All right, it kind of snuck up on me. The NFL season fast approaching. Now is the time for teams to begin assessing who will or won't make the cut. Who will the new Cowboys be? They're gearing up for what many fans are hoping is a season to celebrate. Our Larry Ramirez in California as preps for the opening day of training camp get underway. Obviously, Larry not at camp yet. He's, on the coast. Larry.
Yeah, hanging out at Point Magoo Rock to do my live shots today during the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock newscast. The Dallas Cowboys are on the way to Oxnard from LAX. They are driving up PCH, which is to my right, and they should get to their team hotel in about the next 30 to 45 minutes. So their first practice is Thursday. Opening ceremonies will go down on Saturday. And coming up later in sports, we're going to talk more about wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, who is not expected to report to camp. That's it for now. Back to you guys in San Antonio.
All right, thank you, Larry. Making headlines today, the director of the Secret Service has resigned 10 days after the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. It's a move that lawmakers on both sides of the aisle had been calling for.
Michael Yoshida outlines what led up to today's decision as multiple investigations look into that agency's handling of security for the former president and the decisions made at that rally in Pennsylvania.
Kimberly Cheadle out as director of the Secret Service. Cheadle resigning amid intense scrutiny following the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump at a Pennsylvania rally earlier this month.
I'm happy to see that she has heeded the call of both Republicans and Democrats. Now we have to pick up the pieces.
Members of both parties have been calling for her to step down, mounting pressure that only grew following a contentious hearing on Capitol Hill Monday.
You're full of today. You're just being completely dishonest.
If you have an assassination attempt on a president, a former president, or a candidate, you need to resign.
You should have come today ready to give us answers. I call upon you to resign today.
Unwilling to answer many questions from the House Oversight Committee.
We are just 9 days out from this incident, and there's still an ongoing investigation.
Cheadle provided little clarity on how a gunman was able to get access to a roof that was so close and with a clear line of sight to the former president. The gunman's bullets narrowly missed Trump's head, but left one rally-goer dead and others injured.
The Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders. On July 13th, we failed.
Cheadle's resignation comes as lawmakers and an internal government watchdog move forward with investigations into the agency's handling of Trump's protection. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Back here at home, let's take a look at traffic during this 5 o'clock commute. We're going to take you to the camera. Highway 281 in San Pedro. You can see it's the northbound lanes that are really slow going, as they usually are this time of day. No issues headed south. The News at 5 continues right after this.
I'm KSAT anchor Stefania Jimenez, and this is KSAT photojournalist Ken Huizad. We are on our way into Uvalde for our inaugural episode of Your Voice South Texas. So what is it? It's going to be a political show that's not about politics. We'll be discussing politics, but we're not going to get political. We know that it's gotten nasty. Come on, a lot of you see those Facebook comments, you see comments all over social media. We're looking to get out of that, take out the nastiness from politics leading up to this election, and we just want to hear from you. What are the things that are concerning you before this election? For a lot of people, this is about jobs. For a lot of people, this is about security. This is about education, the economy. We want to hear from you directly, and that's why we're launching Your Voice South Texas.
Your Voice South Texas online right now. Scan this QR code to join us. Here's a look at what we're working on for the news at 6. It is sacred ground. Now a community organizer in Uvalde wants to turn the property of Robb Elementary into a community center. Still ahead, why a loved one of the 21 says that decision should be left to the families.
Plus, it's been almost 2 months since Bexar County rolled out a new court filing system called Odyssey, and that rollout caused a lot of issues and a lot of problems that persist. 2 local judges are telling us those problems continue with no end in sight. What we found out today on the news at 6.
Patience pays off for some people who didn't get rain yesterday. They got a little bit of rain today, and those clouds out there even look promising for the days to come, Adam.
And the Hill Country, who has missed out on so much of the rain over the weeks and months past, finally had an opportunity to cash in. Of course, a little too much of a good thing in a short amount of time, but I'm not hearing any complaints out there with the street flooding because they really needed the rain, and they got a lot of it. So let's get right to it. First of all, if you missed out, we have several more opportunities. 40% chance Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're back up to a 60% chance we get into Friday and Saturday, and even lingering into Sunday, some pretty good odds. Now, like I was saying yesterday, the chances and the rainfall conditions will ebb and flow from day to day and from various times of day. But this was the picture. Bandera earlier today, I can guarantee you that was a dry creek until earlier this morning. Look at this near Helotes, flooded backyard. It is soggy and soaky. And check out this in Kerrville, a backyard rain gauge. It filled up. It maxes out at 7 inches, and they got more than 7 inches up in Kerrville. You look at Authority radar right now, and we do have a few little showers that just popped up. Remember when I was saying along and south and east of I-35, that's likely where we're going to have the next development? Well, let's just look at the past 30 minutes, and you'll see here these 2 dots that just popped up, especially I-10 and 1604, St. Hedwig toward Atkins. These are some of the newest showers, but this is important because it really denotes that there's still available energy out there, especially in areas where we had more sunshine today, more destabilization, and less rainfall up until now. That's why I've got a 40% chance as we get on into the evening hours and basically all the way through sunset and a few hours thereafter. I still think we got about a 40% chance here in and around San Antonio. Futurecast is picking up on that, some of that action, especially a little bit farther south, scattered in nature. And keep in mind, these computer models with these very erratic weather patterns aren't the most reliable, but I'm in thinking with it that we could have some more development in the coming hours. Kind of like yesterday, everything started to pop up this time of day. As we get into tomorrow, some scattered activity for the midday and even afternoon hours, about 40% coverage across our area at any given time. Now, of course, this was very much needed rainfall, particularly in the Hill Country. And I mentioned before, more opportunities, but I want to talk about the drought monitor. So the Hill Country and even just west of San Antonio to Del Rio has really missed out on a lot of the rain over the past few weeks and especially months. That's where we have the severe and extreme drought. I outlined it in white there. Now look at the rainfall totals just over the past 2 days in that area. That's where the sweet spot has been for a change. The purple on the map here indicates at least 6 inches of rainfall, and we have radar estimates of 6 to 8 inches in parts of the Hill Country just over the past couple of days. And as I showed you before, more opportunities to come. Not only that, Guadalupe River's flowing a bit near Spring Branch, and actually it's going to get up to about 9.1 to 9.3 feet tomorrow afternoon and on into the evening before simmering down a little bit more. 73 in the morning, 82 at noon, 87 the high temperature. There's that 20% chance in the morning tomorrow, 40% midday and afternoon. Our chances ebb and flow, and the coverage changes. Depends on the day, the timing, and your exact location. But many more rainfall opportunities are out there, with those 60% chances jumping again Friday, Saturday, even into Sunday. And look at the impact on temperatures. Today we were in the low to mid 80s officially in San Antonio, and then we're talking mid to upper 80s through the weekend. Coming up at 6, more neighborhood level rainfall accumulations and comparing it to the aquifer zones. How much fell over the aquifer?
Oh, yeah, that's a big question. Thanks, Adam.
All right, let's go to Cali right now. Let's check in with our friend Larry Ramirez as we get ready for Cowboy Camp. And Larry, the big question may be, who isn't in camp to start?
Absolutely. So wide receiver CeeDee Lamb was not on the team's charter today. Doesn't mean he's not coming to camp, but all indications point to he will hold out a training camp until he gets a new deal. We're going to talk more about that. Plus, does being a dad change Dak's plans when it comes to hanging out with his wide receivers and tight ends? Coming up.
He's been engaged. I can just tell you that. He's been engaged. And then that's my word for the day. I said it 6 times, so engaged.
You heard it. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy says CeeDee Lamb was engaged with the team despite missing offseason workouts in big board sports. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome live to Southern California as we get ready to cover Dallas Cowboys training camp. Now, we are at Point Magoo Rock, which is about 30 minutes away from the Cowboys team hotel located in Oxnard, California, which is just right over the hill from us. So the biggest question entering training camp is, will wide receiver CeeDee Lamb report after missing the Cowboys offseason program? He's not expected to attend camp until he gets a new deal, and he wasn't on the team charter today. Lamb is holding out for a long-term contract extension. Now, he's coming off his best season in the league, and he wants big money for it. Lamb made $2.5 million last season, will jump up to nearly $18 million this season after the club picked up his 5th-year option. When he does come back, what's the next step for CD?
Boy, he's played at such a high level. I mean, just really maintaining the standard and what a standard he established last year. So I think just playing to the standard that he's created, and and we all have a responsibility too to make sure those opportunities are in place, but also, boy, what opportunities it creates for others because of the standard that he's established.
Quarterback Dak Prescott is also seeking a contract extension, but he doesn't seem worried about it, saying it will work itself out as it always does. Now, not that long ago, Dak took his yearly trip with his receivers and tight ends to bond and run routes. Now that Dak's a father, does that change anything with him going away with the guys?
No, family would enjoy a trip, so they won't necessarily be with the guys, with us, but mom and baby girl can go enjoy a trip themselves, so it's part of it. I've talked about it before. She does a great job of just allowing me to focus when I need to focus, and football is what allows us to have that life.
Boy, that last part is certainly true, isn't it? So the Dallas Cowboys are en route to Oxnard, driving up the Pacific Coast Highway, which is to my right, and they should be getting to their team hotel within the next probably 20-30 minutes, I would guess. That's it from California. Back to you guys in San Antonio.
Boy, it's hard to beat that backdrop,
No
Larry.
kidding.
That is the nice scene behind you, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Larry with the view. Thanks, Larry. We'll be right back.
All right, Daniel's backyard in Kerrville, 7.1 inches of rain measured in his rain gauge. Leon Springs, Roland's backyard, 2.69. Even Panna Maria picked up 0.8 of an inch. Bulverde, Brian's backyard, 4 inches. This is good to see. Good to see. Even Micah, 2.43.
Thanks for watching.
See you at 6.